Well, it's been 8 decades since the liberation of a German concentration camp, and a Franklin veteran was one of the soldiers who was in the Army unit that rescued thousands of the survivors. Well, now his neighbors are coming together to honor him. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry spoke with family and friends about the man behind the memorial and explains how Jerry Gentry will be remembered along with fellow veterans.
He loved everybody. He never knew a stranger.
Born in 1925, James Gentry, also known as Jimmy, spent his life hunting, trapping, and fishing in Franklin, Tennessee, before he was drafted as a foot soldier for the U.S. Army in World War II. During his service, his unit liberated the survivors at the Dachau concentration camp in Germany. According to the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, as of April 26, 1945, there were over 67,000 registered prisoners in Dachau and its subcamps. When soldiers like Gentry arrived on April 29th, they liberated around 42,000 survivors and found 30 railroad cars filled with bodies. It took years before Gentry was able to share the stories from the war.
He felt it was his duty to share his story. This was not just his story, but the story of the country and the cost of freedom.
This morning, family, veterans, and neighbors honored Gentry's life and veterans who gave their life while serving our country with a memorial placed in the heart of Franklin.
You couldn't help but know him, so we followed him and learned from him, whether it was on purpose or accidental.
The Gentry family tells me the memorial was placed specifically here beside the historic Franklin Presbyterian Church because of the memories this wall holds.
It was in the mid-1940s when young men would sit here waiting for a particular bus to arrive. And when it did, if your name was called, you were headed off to war to serve your country.
That's why you live here. It's a duty you have to do.
That was really the start of every story that he talked about going off to war, was this wall.
3,500 Williamson County men caught the bus at that wall along 5th Avenue South. 600 of them were killed in action. Those 600 men's ultimate sacrifice is now forever honored.
Daddy always talked about those that didn't return. And this is more about the memorial of all those that served, that we could have this freedom be here today.
In Franklin, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.